Hi, today is March 2nd, 2011. This is episode 3 of Control Talk. I'm your host, Eric Stromquist, and today we're here with Robert Harlan from Johnson Controls. Welcome, Robert.
Thanks for having me today, Eric.
But well, today we're here to talk about a really cool control system called the System 450. And the System 450 is a modular control system that pretty much allows you a tremendous amount of flexibility. And for those people that have been in the controls industry, if you've been around for a while, you've probably worked with the Johnson System 350 system, which is very similar and very popular, very successful. So the first question I have for you, Robert, is with the success of the System 350, why did you guys opt to go to the System 450?
Well, we saw the opportunity to streamline our offering. We went from 54 modules down to 9 modules. So whereas before you had an individual module for each application, now we have these 9 standard modules that you can mix and match together to fit your application.
So if you're on a control truck now, instead of having a whole bunch of different modules, maybe having the right ones, now you can stock less, keep less, and probably have exactly what you need when you got to the job site.
Exactly. You have 9 part numbers to keep up with.
Well, from a distributor standpoint, that's absolutely fantastic. And of course, some of the benefits of the 350 and the System 450 was just the ease of use, programming, there's really no program, but the setting them up, the ability, the flexibility that the systems have. Speak a bit about that with the System 450.
Well, with the System 450, what we tried to do is have a menu-driven programming structure. It's very easy, it's intuitive. Actually, our instructions come with flow charts to help guide you through how to set up your sensors, your outputs, and help you plan out your system.
Well, cool. Well, give me an idea of some of the applications that this is being used on.
Well, like for instance, you use this system in staging of boilers, doing an outside air reset on a boiler, cooling tower mixing valves, cooling tower fan speed control. You can use it in refrigeration with condenser fans.
Well, cool. Well, this is for one of our members of our live audience here. Does anybody have an application they'd like to see Robert program on the 450? Let's challenge him with that. Sir, do you have an application you'd like to challenge him on?
Yes, I'd like to see boiler staging, sorry.
Boiler staging. So a member of our live audience would like to see boiler staging. How many stages would you like to see, sir? 2 stages, okay.
2 stages, okay.
Would you want some reset with that staging?
Yes, sure.
Yes, okay. So can we do that, 2 stages?
Okay, well with the System 450, we have the integral display module in our main control board, which cuts down on yet another component. As you'll see, we've got 4 keys that you use to program your system. This module also has 2 onboard relay outputs. This is also available with analog outputs as well.
So it's just that one module alone, you could have a standalone temperature control system.
Exactly.
With 2 outputs. Okay, cool.
The next module over is our power supply module. Provides power to all of the modules on the system. And then we've also got an expansion module here that provides 1 more relay output.
Okay, so we talked about the different applications, and the member of our studio audience wanted to see like a boiler, reset control system. Mm-hmm. But essentially with these things, would you have to select certain modules for that, or you just can pretty much set this up how you want to set it up?
Well, you do have to select your modules because you have to decide if you're having a proportional control or it's just on and off control. Okay. So in the case I believe the studio audience wanted was the boiler staging. So this would work perfectly for it because all we would have are a couple relay outputs that are staging the system on. Okay,
so I'd like to see you set that up and program it. We'll check with our member of the audience and make sure that works for him. Maybe he'll get a PO today.
Okay, Eric, for a 2 boiler staging application, basically what we'll do is, first off, we'll press our up and down keys for a 5 count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And that just gets us in programming mode?
Yes, that places us in programming mode. So the first thing we'll do is set up our temperature sensor. So what we'll do is go to sensor 1. We'll select degrees Fahrenheit. Press our M key. Takes us back to the screen before. Press our M key again. We'll set up output relay number 1, which will, in this case, will be boiler number 1. And we'll assign it to sensor number 1. And then we will set that up to bring boiler number 1 on it. We'll say, for these purposes, we'll just say 160 degrees.
So that's pretty cool. I noticed that you could, if you wanted, you could have it look at sensor 2 if you wanted to and use that as the primary sensor. So you have flexibility with that.
That's correct. You can actually set up 3 different sensors.
Way cool.
And we'll have boiler number 1 cut off at 180 degrees. We can set up a minimum on time. We could also set up a minimum off time. I'm going to set this up for if our sensor fails to off so we don't burn the building down.
It's a good idea. So you can set up the fail-safe mode, in other words.
Yes, sir. So then we back out to the screen before, set up boiler number 2, we hit our M key again, and we're at output relay number 2. Have to assign a sensor again, so we'll be looking at the same sensor. And what we'll do on this one is we'll say at 140 degrees, we will bring on boiler number 2. And we'll shut boiler number 2 off. We'll do a little bit of an overlap. We'll put it at 165 degrees.
So in this particular application, we were doing 2 different boilers, but that could have just been 2 stages. It could have been 1 boiler, 2 stages, like
That's
a
correct.
high-low fire.
Yeah.
Essentially programming it the same way.
Yes. And to back out of the system, you press these 2 keys, and now we are set up.
Tell me about the 2 LEDs right here.
Those are signifying both boilers are on.
So it's just as simple as that.
Okay, so basically our modules here, we'll open them up one at a time. On our main control module, you'll see it's all tethered in there, so you got to be careful when you open it. But your sensors wire up right here, and your outputs wire up underneath this cardboard enclosure here. So you have your 2 outputs that would wire up right there. Continuing on to your power module, see we have connectors that join each module together. Power comes into the bottom, distributes out. And then this is our expansion module, one of our expansion modules. This particular one has 1 relay output that wires up through the bottom. So it's as easy as mounting your modules on your DIN rail, connecting them all together, wiring your sensors and outputs, and then landing your power.
Wow, Robert, that was pretty darn easy. Are all the applications that easy to program?
Pretty much. You know, as long as you put the time in knowing what you're setting up and select the correct modules, it's very easy to set up.
Well, cool. Well, listen, there's another application that we're seeing a lot of customers that are sort of dialing into, which is the pressure application. And I think, you know, most of our viewers out there are familiar with these old electromechanical type pressure controls and stuff like that. They've been around forever, and I think that the reason people hadn't gone to electronics in the past is just because these were so much less expensive.
Yes.
But I think as good as this controller is, inherent in it is that it's, you know, you don't necessarily get that good degree of accuracy because it's electromechanical, not electronic. Yes. And I guess you can get some leaks here, but you guys, using this system, have a really cool sort of application that sort of really obsoletes these.
And what we're using now is more of an electronic sensor. It's more accurate. It doesn't have to be calibrated.
You don't have to calibrate it,
No,
huh?
no, you don't have to calibrate it.
Wow.
And it wires directly into our System 450.
Okay.
So it works great for you know, condenser fan speed control and applications such as that.
Well, that is really cool. And I guess in terms of, you got proportional integral derivative control, or at least PI control here, right?
That's correct.
And with electronic sensing, it means you can get much more accuracy. Versus electromechanical, it's just like the name says, that, you know, you're gonna have some drift and so on. It's just inherent in the way these controls are.
Yes. Yeah. This is strictly on-off, and in this you have the option of either it being on-off staging or a proportional output.
Really, really cool. And what's the warranty on that bad boy?
This carries a 3-year warranty on it from the date of purchase.
Very, very cool. Okay. Well, and I think our studio audience was satisfied with how easy the boiler was to set up. He's nodding yes. Okay, and we're paying him to do that, but he's doing a good job with it. So great. Well, thank you very much, sir. Anything else you want to say before we close out?
No, just thanks for having me here today, and you know, I appreciate the opportunity.
Well, great. One of the things we're going to do on Controltrends.com is we're going to post some other programming applications with some of the most common applications. So if you want to see how those are done, Tune in regularly to controltrends.com, and there'll be different applications. You can also email me, Eric, E-R-I-C, @stromquist.com. If you have an application you'd like to see how to have programmed, and we'll do a video and post it on Control Trends so you can see how easy that is to do. This product is available through Stromquist and Company. It's also available through Johnson's distribution network throughout the United States and throughout the world. So if you're not in Georgia and Florida where Stromquist is, never fear, you've got probably a great distributor in your area as well. Robert, thanks for being on Control Talk.
Thanks, Eric.
If you need to control it or measure it, Stromquist and Company has a control solution for you. With over $2 million of inventory between our Georgia and Florida locations, an easy-to-use online ordering platform, same-day shipping, and a factory-trained team of controls experts to answer your questions, Stromquist and Company continues in its tradition of offering great service and great products.